Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Pratish Devangan, and today we will discuss about Tic Tac Toe or low level citizen problem. And this is also a very famous problem that generally asked in any interview questions. And before starting, I would like to thank you to watching my previous video that I have uploaded on low level design problem. And sorry for not uploading as much video as these days. I'm busy for months in my personal work, but yeah, for the upcoming months I will try to make a habit of uploading at least one video, and we will try to cover as much ground as possible in low level design question, and we will try to cover at least 20 most important questions that we generally ask in any interview questions. So in this video we will discuss about tic tac toe design problem, and before that, as my general pattern of my video, I will show you a diagram, and with by looking at that diagram, you can guess. I think 80% of the solution of that problem without even looking at the code and without even looking at the class diagram. And this video is like a complete breakdown of this tic-tac-toe design problem. And at the end of the video, I will make an enough confidence to yourself, like you were able to explain a very detailed solution of this problem and to the interviewer and to able to crack any product based companies. So let's start the video. So this is a very general diagram, and this is our tic-tac-toe problem, and it has 9 cells as you can see, and we have two players, player A and player B, and this is our game. So by looking at the diagram, I just wanted to ask what process you actually try to imagine what the first thing you will do in this question. So as you guess, we will first register our players. So we will give a name of the players. Like we will give this player as a player A, and we will give this as a player B, and each player has some symbols and that we assign to a player. Like this player A will assign a symbol X, and player B will assign a symbol dot. So what next? What next we will do? We will player A will come into our game, and it will first select a cell. But yeah, before selecting any cell, what the first thing you will do? What the first thing this player do? This player will look for any empty cells into the tic tac toe game. So if this cell is already occupied, then player will not able to enter his dot into a specific cell. So this first thing we will do, like we will check our any empty cells into the board. If this is empty only, then we make our player to a put the symbols in that cell. Now after player A put their symbols in the cell, we will first check if the player A has won or not. So by how what technique we will check? We will check by if the player A, if this entire row is occupied by the dot or not, or if the entire column is occupied by the dot or not, or is the entire diagonal of this respective symbol is occupied by totally or not. So with this three conditions, like we will check if this player is actually won or not. After that, what will be the other condition? Other condition will be there will be a draw between these two players, player A and player B. So we will check if this entire 9 cells is actually occupied or not. So once this player A put their symbols, and then we came to know like this entire cells is occupied and no one has been uh, till uh, till till this time. Then we will declare this. There actually a draw between these two players. So this is the second condition. We will check after a player enter their symbols in a specific cell. So these are two conditions we will check after a player has make his move on. And what will be the And what will be the this entity that you can think of? So there will be entity of the players, and there will be entity of the game. So this entire game will be an entity, and it will actually host all of this process like entering a specific cell and make and move cell like that. And there will be entity of the board. So this board will contain the size of the board, size of the cells, like how many number of cells is there. And yeah, so this are the main information that actually you can think of just by looking at the this general diagram. Now we will actually go to the low level design of this problem. So as you can see, there is actually a player entity. So with it, and each player has some names and has some symbols, and they are actually a entity of cell, and each cell has some rows and columns into this. And actually, once a player is about to and place their specific symbol into the board, we actually check if this if the position of this symbol is actually valid, is not outside of the board. If the player is actually by mistake is actually placed the symbol outside of the board, then actually we throw an error. So this is the entity of the cell, and each cell has the position of the rows and position of the columns into it, and it has the values. The value is like a symbol that is assigned to a specific cell. So this function is giving like if this cell is empty or not, and we have this player entity, and we have the cell entity, and we have the board entity. Yeah, I will talk about this later. And we have this game entity. So let's start the game. We have the so first we will enter the name of the player one, and we will enter the name of the player two, and we make this two entity player one and player two by the name and the specific symbol that each player is assigned to. Then actually we make an instance of the game, and it contains two players, player one and player two. Now let's see at the game entity, and it's so now this game entity has a object of board. So this board is coming from the board entity, and with board entity we have this make move function and is winner function. As I told, once a player is entered a specific symbol, then we will check if he's he is actually won or not. So this is like a is winner function. It will check if after a player make a move, if the player is actually won or not. And this function actually check if the complete board is full or not. So yeah, let's so at this point of time, like we actually make an object instance of the game, and we actually starting the game. So what will happen once we start the game? So now game, so there it's actually a while loop, and it will keep on running until all the boards are completed, or if a any one player is win the game. Now player we will just fetch what what the current player turn. So it is a variable that keep on switching. So its current value is 0, but when we call this function, we make a different turn to the different player. Now player one is uh, about to make some move. Yeah, before that we will print over the current status of the board, so that we are fetching from the board. Yeah, board entity. So this board print will actually just fetch the current status of the board, and it's not that much. So first we will show the current status of the board, and we will fetch what are the rows and the columns that player one is about to enter a symbol into a specific cell. So once we get the rows and columns, and we can also put and try and accept block here. So if if the player is like enter some different values that is not an integer, it will throw an invalid input error, and we will continue to the while loop. And we can also fetch of like condition or if and else. This rows and values should be under the size of the specific cell of complete board. If it is not, then we will throw this invalid cell, and we will continue our game until a player enter the valid cell input. Now, now this player one is decided which rows and column that player one is about to enter a specific symbol into the board. Now we will make a move. So to make a move, we'll call this cell board entity. This cell board instance is there and is referring to the board entity. And in the board entity, in the board class, we have make move. What make move does, like it pick this specific row and column of the grid, column of the board, and is assign the value of that specific symbol. Now after player, a specific player make a move, we actually make a move uh, into their turn. Now we will check these two conditions as I talked about before. If player this if that player, if any player is winning or not, and if the board is full or not. If any of the these two conditions is actually satisfied, we will print this player one wins, or if there is a draw, we actually print game is a draw, and we will break out from the loop. But if the game is continue growing, like if player one is make a move, and now it's turn to the player, now it's turn for the player B. Now we will turn our we will switch turn to the players. So what this switch turn do, like it deviates between 0 and 1. So now the current player turn is 0, but after layer 0 is makes and move, then we switch turn to this variable 1. Now it's turn for the player B. So this is like this is the very simple problem, and it's not a very difficult problem. So we will keep continuing this game until a player wins or there is a draw, or and yeah, like before making, like if if all the cell is actually occupied and no one's wins, so we can tell like a cell is already occupied, try again. So if this cell is actually occupied and player B is entering the symbol in the same cell, so we can also prompt we can also print this cell is already occupied and try again. So this is a very simple board game. We can actually toggle around it. Let me try to run this one. Now this is the player one name and player two name is Ganesh. So 0, so and this is the, so now is printing the position, is printing X into this position, and this function is this the complete diagram is coming from this function, the print board function. So you can also see this, and you can also try that, try making this function, and it prints the current status of the board at any specific state. Now this is the turn for player 2. So we enter 0 and we enter 1. Now this is the player 2 that actually enter into this specific cell. and this game will continue. Either one is won or there's a draw between these two players. So yeah, this is very simple question that generally asked in every product based companies. The approach for this solving this problem is by making this player, and you can also draw some diagrams into the front of the interval, and you can also tell your approach, how you're approaching the problem, and how you are dealing with the edge cases, and how we are dealing with the edge conditions. And this is very also very simple to practice and build, simple to remind in ourselves, and before going to any interview that asks low level DM questions. So thank you for this video, and I will explain any different problem in my upcoming videos. And please subscribe my channel, and please also like my videos. So my videos will uh, go to every students, and it will make some impact. So thank you all.